Russia insists it will not make any concessions on Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made it clear that in order to achieve peace, Ukraine must not join NATO, and Russia must maintain the entire territory of the 4 Ukrainian regions that Moscow has annexed. This is Russia's tough stance, emphasized in the context of the conflict with Ukraine continuing to drag on with no signs of cooling down. According to Reuters, on December 11th, the Russian Foreign Ministry stated that Moscow is not ready to make any concessions regarding the Ukraine issue. The ministry also affirmed that President Vladimir Putin's proposals on how to end the conflict must be implemented. At a press conference, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova emphasized this tough stance when answering a question about U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's call for an immediate ceasefire and negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Mr. Trump previously called the conflict between Russia and Ukraine madness and asked the parties to sit down to find a peaceful solution. Those who think that Russia will make concessions on this issue either have a short memory or do not understand the situation well enough, Zakharova said. She stressed that Russia will not give up its demands, especially regarding Ukraine's NATO membership and Russia's retention of control over the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia regions. President Putin has long considered Ukraine's accession to NATO a major threat to Russia's national security. Moscow believes that NATO's eastward expansion has been the main cause of tensions between Russia and the West in recent years. Therefore, Ukraine's non-accession to NATO is a prerequisite for Russia to consider any peaceful solution. In addition, spokeswoman Maria Zakharova also warned Russian citizens not to travel to the United States, Canada, and some European Union (EU) countries. She said Russian citizens were at risk of being hunted by the U.S. government amid dangerously strained relations between Moscow and Washington. Zakharova described Russia-U.S. relations as at an all-time low and on the brink of collapse. The view reflects the growing confrontation between the two countries as the U.S. continues to impose tough economic sanctions on Russia to pressure it to change its behavior in Ukraine. Meanwhile, international observers say the prospects for a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine remain slim. Ukraine is determined not to make concessions on the territorial issue, especially after Moscow announced the annexation of 4 territories that the international community still considers to be Ukrainian. Despite repeated calls from the international community, including U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, Russia has maintained a tough stance. The current tensions not only widen the gap between Russia and the West, but also pose major challenges to the prospects for peace in the region.